Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Fresh injury update on £45 million Arsenal player after coming off early for his country. Journalist Charles Watts has now provided an injury update on Arsenal's Thomas Partey after he came off at half-time for Ghana against Mexico. Watts was speaking on his YouTube channel and said he understands that the move was just a precaution. He claimed that Ghana are well aware of the need to manage Partey during this break, given his long injury layoff at Arsenal. Watts wanted to reassure fans that the early substitution was prearranged and he didn't think there had been a setback. He said, "There has been a concern doing the rounds today because Partey played for Ghana overnight in their friendly against Mexico, which they lost 2-0 in the United States. Started the game but only lasted 45 minutes, was replaced by Chris Houghton at halftime. My understanding of it is that this was just sort of a fitness-related thing, as in a pre-arranged type thing. We'll give him 45 minutes and carefully manage fitness. Ghana are well aware he is only just come back from a long injury." Of course, there is a question over whether Partey should have been called up for these internationals. Ghana are playing two friendlies in the US, and it would seem unnecessary to risk Partey so soon after his injury return. Partey did play 20 minutes or so for Arsenal before the break, but a long trip away with his national team wouldn't seem advisable. The £45 million midfielder has had a torrid injury record with the Gunners in recent years. Of course, Arsenal are now much better equipped to cope with last absence since Declan Rice has arrived. Jorginho also fared well against Manchester City, but could be a player destined to leave soon. Arsenal are now linked with Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi, and there is even talk of Charlie Patino heading the other way in the other direction. Injured Arsenal star out for longer than reported, but return is still possible. Arsenal fans only got to see a brief glimpse of the new signing Jurrien Timber before he was seriously injured. The Dutchman was subbed off with what looked like a nothing injury at the time, but was since ruled out for most of the season. However, recent reports have suggested a return in January could be possible as his recovery steps up. But according to football transfers, that is simply not the case, albeit there is hope Timber will play again this season. According to football transfers, there is no way that a return in January is possible for Timber. They claim their sources suggest this is unrealistic for the defender. However, there is some hope within the report and good news compared to the initial diagnosis for Timber. It's claimed that a return to the pitch could come in the spring, around March, when Timber could be back in time to feature in the final 10 games for the Gunners. If that is the case, and Arsenal remain in the title hunt, then the £40 million signing would be a huge boost to proceedings at that time. Certainly, Mikel Arteta will be hoping he has all his squad available at such a big time of the season. Given Arsenal thought they were writing Timber off for the season at one point, it's good news really he might be back at some point this season. Yes, it's annoying that those reports of a January return are wide of the mark, but really, Gunners fans would have been massively surprised to see Timber back then. He needs to be fully recovered and ready to play, and if he does come back in March for the run-in, then it's a massive bonus for the whole club. Team Sherwood lauds what Kai Havertz did against Manchester City. Team Sherwood has praised Kai Havertz for the assist for Arsenal's winner against Manchester City before the international break and hinted that he expects the forward to come good in time. Sherwood was speaking on Sky Sports as he admitted that the pass was probably the best thing he has done since joining the Gunners in the summer. Kai Havertz has definitely had an interesting time since making the move to Arsenal in the summer. It surprised many when it became clear that Mikel Arteta wanted the German off the back of his disappointing spell with Chelsea. and the early signs suggested that Arsenal had potentially made a real error. Havertz barely made an impact in the opening weeks of the campaign. It was clear how much the goal meant to his teammates, and he came on to set up the winner in the dramatic victory over Manchester City just before the break. Understandably, Gabriel Martinelli was lauded for the strike, which ultimately found its way into the back of the net, but Team Sherwood believes that Havertz deserves more credit for calmly putting the ball into Martinelli's path. He said, "That layoff there at the end for the goal from Havertz is one of the best things he's done. He didn't just fire it back, not a lot of people would notice it. He's done hardly anything at this football club at the moment, but I really think he's got quality." It's a backhanded compliment to suggest it was the best thing he had done. Clearly, Sherwood is noting that the bar is not particularly high so far. However, he is clearly backing Havertz to potentially come good at some stage. Mikel Arteta and Ado have got very little wrong in the market over the last couple of years, so there is reason to believe that Havertz will step it up at some point. Martin Odegaard, now claims 23-year-old Premier League player, is the best in the world. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard has now confessed that he considers Manchester City's Erling Haaland to be the best player in the world. Odegaard was speaking via Haito's TV whilst away with Norway during the international break. The midfielder was speaking to the press ahead of visit from Spain on Sunday and found time to talk up Haaland. However, the captain did insist that it will take a team effort to achieve a result in such a tie. Arsenal's Odegaard said, "Of course, we have with Haaland now, maybe the best player in the world, so we have to get the best out of him. But we are a team, and that's the most important thing. We need the team to work together, and that's the key thing for us." Therefore, some Arsenal fans may then wonder just how good that makes William Saliba. Mikel Arteta's side managed to limit Haaland to 0.00 expected goal just before the break, and that was largely owed to the defender. Of course, it's a threat to have two world-class international teammates competing against each other for the Premier League title. Some pundits have been quick to dismiss the idea of Arsenal winning the league despite their landmark win against City, and Odegaard may be quick to remind those pundits and Haaland at City just how close Arsenal were last year. The signing of Declan Rice could now be a key factor in Arsenal improving on last season's shortcomings. Rice himself must have a very good argument to already being called one of Arsenal's most senior players, and Arteta will need Rice fit and raring to go when club football returns alongside Bukayo Saka too. Trent Alexander-Arnold says Arsenal have a player who can do amazing things. Liverpool star Trent Alexander-Arnold has waxed lyrical about Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice while on England duty. The Reds ace, speaking to Channel 4, said the Gunners ace is a player who has been doing amazing things for years. Alexander-Arnold also said he could certainly see himself in a midfield with Rice and Jude Bellingham. The Arsenal star has gone from strength to strength in recent years, culminating in a big money move to the Emirates Stadium this summer. Rice has slotted seamlessly in the Gunners' starting 11 and looks set to play a crucial role in all the good things Arsenal do on the pitch. The 24-year-old is also a key player for England, with 45 caps already to his name and two major tournaments under his belt. The Channel 4 reporter asked Arnold whether we could potentially see a midfield three going forward of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Arnold replied, "I mean, it's something I would hope for as a player to have a midfield like that would be. I mean, we haven't seen what it could potentially bring, but I think on paper it's a midfield that's very exciting. Declan is doing amazing things that he has done for years, and then Jude, I don't need to speak much about what he is doing, so to potentially be in midfield with those two is something I could see working." Declan Rice is one of the best in the world in his position, and at just 24 years of age, he still has time to grow as a player. After leading West Ham to the Europa Conference League trophy, he will help to bring glory to Arsenal and England now too. Champions League side now want to sign outstanding Arsenal youngster. Champions League side Real Sociedad are now being linked with a move for Arsenal youngster Charlie Patino in windows to come. That's via Team Talk, who shared that Sociedad may ask about Patino if Arsenal progress with their interest in Martin Zubimendi. Mikel Arteta is said to be keen to bring the 24-year-old to the Emirates to cover for the possible departure of Jorginho. Moreover, Sociedad are keen on Patino, and a swap deal is now being mooted as a possibility in the near future. Of course, this comes off the back of Patino making it clear that he had intentions to stay at Arsenal beyond his loan deal. The 19-year-old named William Saliba as an inspiration for what he's been able to achieve at the club after a loan spell away, and talk over Patino's future has come thick and fast of late. Before the Sociedad links, journalist Charles Watts explained that it seems unlikely that Patino would sign a new deal at Arsenal. The midfielder will have 18 months left on his contract at the turn of the year, something that will need resolving. It seems that the next 6 months or so will be very telling for Patino. He is clearly a player full of ability and potential, someone the Arsenal fans already hold dearly. But there still seems a significant gap between Patino and the Arsenal first team. It was reported that Arsenal were willing to let the youngster leave on a permanent basis this summer before a loan was agreed, and therefore using outstanding Patino as a make weight in a deal for Sociedad Zubimendi could be an appealing option for Arsenal. Defensive prodigy dreams of joining Arsenal in the future. Ajax defender Jurrien Hato has revealed that he dreams of a move to Premier League giants Arsenal in the future. The 17-year-old defender is highly rated in Dutch football and he has a big future ahead of him. The youngster has revealed in an interview with Elf Football that he wants to develop into one of the best defenders of his generation and he wants to play for big clubs in the future. He said, I want to win the Champions League, be a starter for the Dutch national team for as long as possible, and I hope that one day people will say that Hato was one of the best defenders of his generation. The Champions League is a childhood dream, but those other goals have grown over the years. I watched a lot of football, but I never had a specific person as an example. I hope to take a step in my development every year. The goals I have are not very big either because they are small and realistic goals, although I must say that I am ahead of my set goals. Unfortunately, Timber was seriously injured in his first Premier League game for Arsenal, but he is still young and has a bright future ahead of him. In any case, the move to Arsenal was a wonderful one for him. It's also my dream to one day make such a transfer, but I realize that I still have a very long way to go. Arsenal now want to sign £52 million player who plays like a young Luka Modric. Arsenal are reportedly interested in signing RB Leipzig star Dani Olmo, a player who has been likened to Real Madrid midfielder Luka Modric. The Gunners have a solid squad at the moment, but there is always room for improvement, isn't there? Mikel Arteta's side have been linked with plenty of names in recent days, including Olmo, who is an interesting option for Arsenal. Mondo Deportivo reported earlier this week that along with Barcelona, Arsenal are interested in signing Dani Olmo, who has a release clause of £52 million in his contract. The 25-year-old has been brilliant for RB Leipzig this season, having scored 5 goals and picked up an assist in just 4 starts, which is a tremendous return. One of the things that makes Olmo so special is his versatility. The Spaniard can play on either wing as well as in midfield, which is probably what has caught Arteta's eye. Just 9 weeks ago, Bundesliga's official website released a profile on Olmo where the RB Leipzig star was likened to a young Luka Modric. They wrote, Plays a bit like a young Luka Modric. Olmo is seen as one of the most talented players in Spain's current crop of midfield maestros. Yet, just like Real Madrid serial winner Modric, Olmo, who speaks fluent Croatian, was once a firm favorite at Dinamo Zagreb, and he stands out for his superb technical ability. The current Leipzig skimmer's skills were demonstrated with a brilliantly taken goal against Costa Rica in Spain's opening game at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, La Roja's 100th in the competition. Like Modric, Olmo's close control is also mesmerizing to watch and makes him decidedly difficult to play against. As good as Dani Olmo is, we really don't think Arsenal need him. It will be interesting to see what Arsenal will do in January, but we just can't see them making a move to sign Olmo or anyone of his profile. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.